Welcome back to another episode of Hey Sara Sara. My name is Lassie Sripadidam and I'm going to be your host. Hey Sara Sara is a multidisciplinary podcast where I will sit down with students, founders, creators, and changemakers to explore the stories, passions, and ideas behind what they do. Today I'm honored to be joined by someone who has had a tremendous impact on my own martial arts journey, Mr. Brandon Toohey. With over 30 years of martial arts experience and more than 24 years of teaching, Mr. Toohey is the owner and head instructor of Round Rock Taekwondo. Throughout his career, he has helped countless students, myself included, develop not only their martial arts skills, but also confidence, discipline, perseverance, and leadership. As one of my biggest inspirations, I'm especially excited to have the opportunity to learn more about his journey, what first sparked his passions for martial arts, and the lessons he gained from decades of teaching and mentoring others. Mr. Tui, thank you so much for being here today. It's truly an honor to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So, to start us off, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what first inspired you to start your martial arts journey?
Yeah, so um, started martial arts with the just as a summer camp. My mom wanted to put me into something during the summer, and at the end of the 6 week program, I liked it so much I just kept doing it, and I haven't stopped. Yeah,
That was it. You're like, I think I'm just going to stick with this now.
yeah.
Looking back, what advice would you have given your younger self when you first started training?
Um, Man, that's a good question. I think that Uh, one thing I would tell myself to do is don't stop stretching for one, because that's an easy thing to be kind of flexible when you're young, and then as you get older, just you take for granted the flexibility that you had and stuff. But another thing is also taking for granted the little mat chats that instructors give. That sometimes we just sit through at the end of the class. But a lot of times there's a lot of wisdom, and we can gain a lot from those.
So, was there ever a time when you wanted to quit martial arts? And if so, what kept you going?
Yeah, so in 2008, my family sold a martial arts school that we owned, and I'd been teaching there for 6 years, and I had gotten burned out of like the business running. I really enjoyed teaching, I really enjoyed training, but like the in and out of like doing all the admin stuff and the business and keeping up with marketing and keeping up with clients and renewals and all that stuff, it was just a real big drag. And when we sold the school, I really thought about like, okay, this might just be it. And I'll just like, that's just what I did. And I took about a good 2 month break. And I decided, I was like, I like this too much to like not do it anymore. And then I started volunteering at another school, just teaching, uh, just because I wanted to. And that was a big change in, I guess, having to do it as a job, and all the admin work that went along with like managing a school, not just teaching but managing the whole business. um, but then I was like, I'm doing this because I want to do it, I'm volunteering because I want to, and it brought the joy back into my training.
I'm so glad you didn't stop because now you taught me and countless other students too, actually. You taught me
Yeah,
for almost like 8 years, right? More than that, I
yeah.
think now. So, what's some of the lessons you learned from your students? I mean, you teach multiple people, so what are some things you learned from the people you teach, your students?
So I'm inspired like just by watching the breakthroughs that students have, whether it's for early students, like beginners finally memorizing their form, or finally nailing a sparring combination during a match, or getting through that tough board break with a technique that they've been struggling with, and seeing that people can actually break through and do it themselves. Because although I'm there to motivate and guide, I'm not the one who did the work. They are the ones who did the work. And to continue to see people day in and day out break through these barriers, it's so validating and it's so rewarding.
One of the lessons I learned from you is actually how to be more like confident and how to actually like that perseverance. Actually, you taught me about that. I used to like give up so easily. Anytime it was something so hard, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. But you actually taught me how to push through and actually like follow through that what I want to do and then learn that technique or learn that skill so that I don't just give up so easily.
Yeah, it's a great feeling when you accomplish something. And I'd say it's almost a better feeling when you have helped to guide someone and they've accomplished something that they've worked for. And so it's like, in a selfish way, when I help others and they succeed, I also benefit too.
Yeah. So you've learned martial arts for over 30 years, right? Do you notice any differences from when you first started to how it is now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when I first started, there was a lot of command-based instruction where it's like you do this, you do that, and is very much like very controlling and like it was just like a power. Like I'm the instructor, I have the power, and I can tell you to do something. And one shift that I started to make probably maybe 20 years ago was instead of like a command based teaching style to have like an inclusive based teaching style. So instead of saying like you need to be doing your sidekicks right, I will say let's work on our sidekicks. And so it it's in a way it's me doing it alongside the students, even if I'm not necessarily physically doing it. The fact that it's like we're in this together and we're on this journey together rather than you have to do it because I said you have to do it. And that is a big thing that I've seen a lot of martial arts schools adopt, going from a command based approach to like an inclusive based approach. So that's one thing I've seen, and of course, you know, I think that this just goes without saying, but the talent between generations, you can look at basketball, you can look at football, and how much more talent there is in just the technique and the playing style in some of those sports. But I also see it the same way in martial arts, where things that I was doing, after a decade of training, I'm seeing students of mine do maybe in 6 years of training. And that's not the case with every single person, and it may just be person by person. And it could also be the coaching that they've received has evolved. And so, where it took me 10 years to get there, maybe other students, because of different coaching methods, they're able to achieve the same goals in a shorter amount of time.
Is there any like difference in the variations of like techniques such as like your forms back then? Do they compare to the forms now a little
Yeah,
bit?
the forms that we practice here are, I guess, more of a hybrid type of form,
Hmm.
and they have a lot of things that you could like take out a section of a form and say, hey, that's actually a decent, could be a decent sparring combination if you were to use it in a sparring way, right? Versus older forms were very different. They're structured similarly but different. There wasn't a lot of transitions like back and forth, side to side as much. There was a lot more involved stepping. That it took up a lot more floor space, where some forms only one person could do their form in a full classroom because of how much floor space the form took. Versus now, you could have a class of 20 people doing the forms because the form is designed to uh, to have multiple people be able to do it in a small space, which is nice because you're still getting technique practice, you're still getting stance work, but they're just designed so that a lot more people can practice at once.
What qualities, in your opinion, do you think make a great martial artist beyond the physical skills?
Number one, I would say the perseverance, commitment. Those, I mean, yes, respect and honor and stuff like that, but sometimes I really feel that it defaults back to perseverance because, yeah, you can be honorable in a 5 minute conversation with somebody or respectful in a 5 minute conversation with somebody. But if that person's really irritating you, how long are you going to be able to keep that up? And so having the perseverance to uh, continue to be respectful regardless of the length of time, and then that also goes into physical practice, working out, going to the gym or different sports. It's easy to have a high level of intensity for a short amount of time versus, hey, I'm going to work at this not for a short amount of time, but I'm going to be doing this for a very long time, years, and the ability to step onto the mat, 3, 4 days a week, for 6 months is nice. But someone's like, oh, I've been training for 15 years and I still go to class 3 times a week. That is the type of perseverance and dedication where it's like, on my good days, I still show up. On my bad days, I still show up. On days that I'm not feeling my best, I still show up. And on days that I feel like I'm on top of the world, I'm still going to show up. And it's the level of discipline and commitment and perseverance that I really think takes people the furthest.
That makes sense. So, what do you think, in your opinion, has been the most rewarding moment you've experienced as an instructor? Something that really was like, I'm so proud.
Man, I think that when I see students hit milestones, and at my school, we have when students test up to like black belt or their second level black belt or third level black belt or so on, they have these like endurance tests, and to see it's hard. They have to show endurance and they have to show that grit and that commitment. And when I see people come out of it on the other side, and it's such a gratifying thing, whether it's like someone who's just getting their first black belt or someone who's a seasoned black belt, that's just continuing to set that example, to push themselves, to show up every day for classes and achieve the things that they set out to achieve. Just seeing people hit these milestones because of their commitment through their hardships, it's so rewarding.
Been like so wonderful. Like this has been so engaging. I've been loving hearing this, loving hearing your answers. So I want to kind of, before we do our official closing, I want to ask you some kind of fun questions. So before martial arts became like a huge part of your life, before you were like set that you were going to keep doing this, were you plan like if you were to imagine pursuing a different career path, is there another career you would have done?
Well, as a kid, I think a lot of people like watch sports, as kids. And so like
Mhm.
probably when I was really little, I was like, I want to be a professional baseball player. And then I, read a book about a doctor one time. I was like, I want to be a doctor. And then my mom was like, you're going to have to go to school for a long time. I was like, wait, I don't know. So, after I assisted with my first Taekwondo class, I would think I was 14. I knew then I wanted to like be an instructor, not necessarily like full time, but I knew that I like doing this and I want to help people. And
Mhm.
then once I got my black belt and I became like an instructor, that's when I knew I was like, I want to do this. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you were a martial arts technique, which martial arts technique do you think you would be?
I think I would be a sidekick to the liver.
Ah, very, very
Yeah.
specific, specifically to the liver. What about to the
Yeah.
head?
That's it. That's a great place to kick someone.
Wow. I was expecting like something like tornado kick, kind of like that. Honestly,
That's kind
psychic
of
to the
flashy.
liver.
No, a sidekick is like bread and butter.
Honestly, that's a valid technique. So, what is something, because you're very good at everything, but what is something that people are like, or what's something that you're surprisingly bad at?
Oh man, I cannot dance.
Really?
As coordinated as as all the coordination I have in martial arts, uh, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a brown belt in Judo. I cannot dance. I've tried. I cannot do it. And I think I have a good sense of rhythm, but I just cannot make my body dance and it looked good.
Specific kind of dance, or is it just any dance you can't quite do?
It's probably any dance. I'm like the typical man trying to dance and thinks he looks cool but doesn't.
So this is kind of our kind of a closing question. So looking ahead, where do you imagine you would be in a few years?
I still find myself teaching. That's something I think I'll always do. It's just I love giving back. I love training myself. I love helping other people accomplish their goals, and so teaching is one thing. I plan on to continue ranking up in some other arts, jujitsu. I have a promotion coming up later this year. Judo. I'd like to get my black belt in that in a few years. Um, in Taekwondo, my next belt promotion is in a few years. And so I got a couple of these promotions that I'd like to do. But also, as far as, the school, continue to develop a leadership team that um, are capable of like teaching classes. I've been teaching for a really long time, and I'm at the point now where I have some great instructors who can not necessarily do my job, but they are beginning to train the next generation of instructors. And so in a way I kind of have like a different role where it's like I'm educating the educators. I'm instructing the instructors so then the instructors can instruct other instructors who can instruct students. And that's kind of my goal, is to create like a something that goes beyond me, and that can continue after I'm unable to teach.
Is studio growing anywhere in the next couple of years as well?
I don't think we'll be moving. Yeah, Round
Mm,
Rock has been a great place.
yeah.
I've been here since 2009. The school opened in 2007, so I think we're the longest running martial arts school in Round Rock.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
So this is my last and final question, technically. So if a student like listening, they want to create things in their community, but they want to like make an impact, but they don't really know where to start and how to start, what advice would you give to them?
So you can't change others without changing yourself first.
Hmm.
And so I think that any change or any help that you want to see in others, you have to make that change yourself. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. And through your example and through your influence, you can and you will change others. I think sometimes if you're too forceful with it, people oppose it. But if you're humble in your approach, and a lot of times that comes through just being an example, you can affect and you will begin to change others.
That's actually really inspirational. Yeah, I really like that. So if any of our viewers would like to reach out to you, where can they reach out? We'll put it up for them at the end.
Yeah, so the website here is roundrocktkd.com. There's places you can reach out and contact me there, email me or whatnot.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us, sharing your story. It's been such a pleasure and such an honor actually to learn more about your journey, like listen to these answers and like get so much like insightful knowledge from you. And the work you're going to do is make a great difference. It's going to make a great difference. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.